me a few months ago at an event, and he was on stage that day and made a lasting impression, I think, on everyone in the audience. He spoke about his time in the military, some of which was very grueling, to the point of almost to the point of suicide, and then how he turned his life around, and including some of the trauma he saw when he was there. He's now changing lives. He's changed a few lives already. I'm sure he's going to change lots of lives, and I think he's got awesome lessons to share with us on becoming the best version of yourself, from your original self, and even from the depths to then becoming the best version of yourself, or being on that journey, and the ups and downs he's been through. It's Dave Smith.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Dave. So you had some really tough times in the military.
Yeah.
What would you say was one of your toughest?
The toughest time was actually leaving the military, getting medically discharged for PTSD, because the army was my life. From where I come from, my childhood, the army was my family, and it's seen yet again I've just been tossed to the curb in a way, from not having no family growing up in the care system, being homeless, joining the military, having that environment of a family environment, and it was took away from me yet again. That was a turning point, I think, for myself. Was, fuck, I've got nothing else. What am I supposed to do now? Back, kind of nowhere to live again, the same where I was when I was 19. So that was the not the most gruesome time, but the most pinnacle time for me to think I've got to start over again, and I think it's never too late.
So you said it wasn't the most gruesome. You can tell us about the time when you literally saw friends blown up.
Yeah,
that would be gruesome, but I think what you're saying is it was the toughest time for you emotionally, in terms of where you were in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'd say for me, that's what really it was a turning point for me in my life. It was just like, I've gone back to that kid again. Fuck, I've got to change again. Do you know what I mean? I've got a family again that's gone. That was the turning point for me. Yeah.
So, from my angle, it's almost like you're forced to reinvent yourself again.
You've
almost got to. Yeah. Circumstances meant that you're on the curb. You're just.
Yeah. And I think that gave me no plan B, and that is the best way to be in life. If you've got a plan B, you're always going to be ordinary. And I really, really push that to people. Do not have a plan B. That is a generational thing. I think having a plan A, that means you've only got one opportunity to do the best thing. When I was homeless, living on the streets, I had one thing to do, and that was join the military. I did it with distinction. I got the best recruit out of 100 people because I had no plan B. If it was that, or going living back on the street, it's as simple as that. And that's the same way I'm trying to get people around it now. Stop having plan Bs, because you're just going to be ordinary.
Yeah. So that to me speaks to the lesson of focus.
Mm-hmm.
So you had forced focus.
Discipline.
Yeah. So you had to focus, and it was discipline. You go on, tell us about discipline.
Discipline is the key factor. Morally, I think it's the best thing you need to have in your personality and attribute. If you have not got discipline in your life, you're not going to go nowhere. As simple as this. I've got an internal alarm clock now, because I have put that discipline. I get up at 5:30. I don't need an alarm clock. My purpose gets me in the morning, not my passion. Like, passion and purpose is totally two different things. Discipline, no matter what you do in life, even if you're cooking your dinner, you need to do it with discipline. Because if you don't do it with discipline the right way, it's not going to taste that right. And the same with life. If you don't put the ingredients into life and have that discipline, life's going to be shit.
Something that comes into a lot of what I do say and think is how you do something is how you do everything.
100%.
And you just touched on that with the dinner thing.
I was listening to that earlier. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And it is true. It is true. And so it's like someone who has messy writing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would say, "Oh, normally I write better than that," or it's often
they're letting themselves down the little things in life.
Yes.
You need to do everything to a certain, not a certain degree, the utmost degree. If you don't, what's the fucking point? I just don't see the point in it.
Yeah.
I never started with one tattoo. I've gone fully tattooed. You have to put everything to life if you want that kind of thing. The tattoo's a different part of it, but the concept's the same.
But just to touch on what we said earlier about not having a plan B.
Yeah.
An analogy I like is, God forbid, a kid was stuck under a car or a heavy vehicle.
Yeah.
The parent of that kid is going to get that kid out.
100%.
It's going to find a way.
Yeah.
Motivation.
100%. And that goes probably hand in the same with the military, the stuff I've been through on tour. Is discipline. If I didn't have that discipline to carry one of my mates off who weighed about 100 kg with ammo and stuff while I was getting shot at, he would be dead. It's a fight or flight kind of mode, kind of thing. And that's what I think discipline is. If I didn't have the discipline the army gave me in the structure, he would have been dead, and so many other people. So discipline is major.
So that sounds like a horrendous incident, more traumatic than a lot of people would ever experience.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
So it was 2012, my second tour of Afghan, and it was a summer tour, which is known to be more kinetic because that's when the Taliban obviously are harvesting their crops for poppies and heroin and cocaine and stuff. So they're fighting to keep their land so they can get their money for war and ammunition and all kinds of stuff like that. And it was around August. We were on a baiting op, and a baiting op is literally what you say. It's like fishing. We go out, make sure the Taliban see us so they can shoot us under card alpha, we can shoot back. So we got to a compound, we took over the compound, and when I was there, I took lead. So I told my mate John Dawson, my mate Engum to take top cover on top of the compound. I went up there first with a sniper to see if there was any positions around us. We were up there for around about an hour, and the atmosphere just changed. Everyone from that village just disappeared, and when that happens, you know something's going to go wrong. So I waited another hour, nothing happened. So me and the sniper said to John and Engum, you take over our positions while we go and get some food and water, then we'll carry on. As John took over my position, I've told him kind of points to look out for. There was a mosque on the right hand side. On the left hand side there was dead ground, you couldn't really see much. As I got down, I took off my body armour, my helmet, and all you hear was a crack and thump. And crack and thump was a round leaving a sniper rifle around about 500 metres away, and it hit John Dawson straight in the face. On the bottom of his chin, it came out the top side of his head. And that's where the skills of the military just kicked in. That was it. And then I didn't have no body armour on, no nothing. I literally was the first person on the scene. I got up on the top of the compound, tried to identify where the enemy position was, couldn't really see it. And then obviously I got on top of John, gave him first aid. With a head injury, it's quite difficult to give first aid. And you can't really do anything for it. And the best thing I could have done was he was kind of drowning on his blood in his throat. So I turned him on his side, tried to get him conscious because he was non-responsive, so I thought he was dead. He wasn't responsive for around about a minute. Tilted his head, all the blood was drained out, he was out. He finally started to come round. So we were still getting machine gun fire on top of us, so I had to get on top of his body so he didn't injure himself further. Dragging him off there, got him down to the medic. The medic took over. I told him about obviously his injuries, where it come from. We took over the firefight. We won the firefight. But coming off that compound really sunk in when I looked round, and there was just hundreds of bullets, wounds around the compound where they've gone in and around me and John. And it really played, I think, a big part of my survivor's guilt on that part. Obviously John survived, which is amazing, but it was like an outline.
Was the survivor's guilt, I didn't want to interrupt you, is the survivor's guilt the fact that he was injured more than you?
He had kids.
Yeah.
He had kids, he had a family. I had no one. It did not concern me dying on tour. It did not concern that thought process never entered my mind.
But you both survived, so where the survivor's guilt?
It's more of his, not lack of life now, is limited. But on the opposite end of that, he's probably done more than me. He's done 3 peaks. He's running, he's walking, he's doing a lot of things for charity, and he's saved my life in a way. So me saving his, when I've gone for my PTSD and my trauma, coming back off tour, his grit and determination, it kind of woke me up sometimes. So we've both kind of saved each other's lives. I might have got a medal for it, but that means nothing to me. I don't even have photos of me in the military because I haven't come to terms with that just yet, of hanging that up and being appreciated of what I've done, in a way.
What is it you still think you need to process?
I think I just want to forget my military career, in a way, because the way I left the military was...
Is it still an open wound?
Yeah,
Just-
no,
just
yeah,
so
yeah,
to
no, no,
speak,
carry on,
so
no,
to
yeah, yeah,
speak.
it is, in a way, because what I went through 19 years before I joined the army, of my childhood and everything, kind of gave me the pain and suffering to push me as a soldier. The shit I went through as a child and in my teenage years really clicked in training. This was me. This was my purpose, like living on the streets a year before I joined the military, but then a year after I'm living in the fields with a poncho and a thingy. That was the Ritz to me. So people thinking, oh, this is shit. I'm like, this is amazing. I've got a roof, like I've got something over my head. I'm in a sleeping bag. I'm getting fed. You guys are mad.
It's something I love is that the probably going to quote this wrong.
Yeah.
But, the man with no shoes complained until he saw the man with no feet.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. I get that 100%. But they just
It's even a gratitude level thing.
Oh, massively. Like, I know we're living in the woods and doing exercises ready for operational tours. These guys have come from an experience where they've had a roof over their head. But a year earlier, I was eating out of bins. I had no freaking food, no water. I had to try and scrap for food and stuff. I never begged. I couldn't do that for my own
dignity.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it. So I'd rather search for a bin at night. But then a year later,
how long were you sleeping rough?
Around about a year. I was living in hostels. I couldn't really incorporate myself in there because I was quite emotionally damaged. So I just like, fuck this, I'm just going to live back on the streets, living there 2-3 weeks at a time, live on a mate's sofa and stuff like that. But it was part and parcel of
So
me.
you weren't ready to fit into a social setting around other people?
Couldn't do it, no. I was kind of in mute as a teenager, really. I didn't really, because my childhood was very shut up. No one's going to believe you. That kind of, because I was emotionally...
Because you're in the care system?
Yeah, I was in the care system, from a very young age.
But do you think that was where you were, this shut up, your voice means nothing? Is that where that was drummed into you?
100%, because it was drummed into me. From when I was around about 5 years old, took into the care system because my mum was an alcoholic. She was quite violent and abusive, but she was an amazing mum, but she had her own mental health problems, which I know now. When she was not drinking, she was amazing, but we've all got our demons, and I know that now. Going into the care system with my sister at a very young age, because we've got different dads, her dad took her out the care system quite quick, so I was left there by myself. Again, someone else was took away from me. But when I was left by myself, I was kind of in a place called Wisteria Lodge. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
Wisteria Lodge is near the back end of town. It's where kids with no homes go. It's kind of a pit stop. And a lot of kids there was obviously stories about it. But I got sexually abused there, mentally and physically. And reaching out to people who were supposed to help me there just told me, shut up, no one's going to believe you. And that went for a fucking long time. And that's why I struggled.
What were the ages that happened?
Around about 7, 8, something like that, where you kind of look up to people because there was teenagers in there which they shouldn't really be there, and then the older generation was there as well, and it's just, yeah, it kind of, in turns, it did fuck me up for a while. It still does in a way, because I find it hard to be in relationships and have that connective kind of thing. It still does, but I've come to learn to deal with it in a way.
Okay. And where did you're obviously, well, would you say you're in a much better place now than you've been in the past?
100%, yeah.
Right. So where did the turning point come, or where did the inspiration for the upturn come for you?
It's a gradual thing. I think it's, from for swearing, it's just not giving a fuck. You have to get to the point of being completely broken to just to have a better life. I personally believe that. You have to be broken in life. If you're not broken, you will be broken at some point, and that will determine your future. It's how success isn't rated on how successful you are, it's how you can fail or have trauma and have something happen to you and how you can rebound and get back from that. I don't care about success. I'm not here for success. Throw as much failure at me and I'll keep pushing through. I think that makes you a better human being, but you will be successful in the long run. I think people get stuck on this conception of being successful, money, this and that. But what they're doing is they're trying to replace their purpose for pleasure very quick, and it frustrates me. For instance, you're on a diet. If you're eating healthy for a week, oh fuck it, I'll have a chocolate bar. Stop replacing your freaking pleasure for your purpose. You're getting away from it, and that step can lead you back a couple of weeks, over a year. That's a month. So I'm completely on my purpose mission right now, is to help as many freaking people as possible who have gone through trauma. And I'm very kind of straight to the point, very open and honest. If you don't like me, don't speak to me, because we're not on the same level, because you haven't been broken like me. And that's why I need to be relatable to people that are going through it at the minute, personally.
Yeah, so you, I know you're doing a lot of work in terms of doing more speaking.
Yeah.
And you just said serving more people. Is that ex-military or?
It's a variety of people. Off the back end, if you don't mind saying, obviously Alistair's.
Yeah, Alistair Cunningham, that's where we met. The 6-figure speaker, fantastic.
And amazing. And if I didn't go to that event and actually meet this, I never thought I'd like him, because he's very Scottish to the point. But realistically, it's a reflection of me in a way, because I'm very straight to the point. And we kind of hit it off. I went to his course. That really compelled me. He pushed it into me. You need to fucking tell people your story. If you don't, you are disserving people. You are not saving lives.
A mutual friend we have said you went to that event thinking your story's crap. You've got no story to tell. Is that true?
100%, yeah. Why would people want to hear my story?
Right.
Years ago, people were telling me to shut up and not say anything because it opened up Pandora's box.
For you, that was true.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the fascinating thing in life. There's a lot of absolute truths, you know, like the rising of the sun and seasons and things, but the rest is our truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the amazing opportunity, the almost unlimited opportunity to grow and improve and kind of achieve in terms of internally and externally.
Yeah.
So just fascinating that. So you went into that event thinking, I've got nothing worth saying.
I want to be there, mate.
No one's going to want to listen to me.
Yeah.
And you came out looking at it very differently and having grown.
Yeah, massively. And Alistair pushed me. I think he wanted to do that in a way. Because every time he asked a question, I'd put my head down. I didn't really want to speak out to people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And we know that to him is a red flag to a bull.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to want to get in there because that's an opportunity to help someone.
100%, yeah. And that's what you need to do. If you're seeing an opportunity, you need to push forward to it. Because every opportunity not taken, you ain't going to get it back. And
I totally believe that. And we want to hear more about your story, but just to throw in something that I've experienced is very much each day is like a mini life, and live it like that. So what you've said just speaks to that for me. It's, you know, if you've got the opportunity to spend 10 minutes engaging with a child, if you've got some time, an opportunity to teach someone something, if you've got an opportunity to serve, if you have an opportunity to achieve something, take that at that time, because that moment, it may be that something similar or it occurs again. But I just really think it's about living each day as a mini life and taking each opportunity exactly as you said.
Stop thinking you've got tomorrow, because you ain't. It's a big thing I'll play by.
There's a lot of people go to sleep tonight that won't wake up tomorrow.
100%. And it's the same thing. I said it in one of my stories, is we are so lucky for God to give us the opportunity of tomorrow, but not knowing it. Because we don't know, we could die tomorrow, but we could be successful tomorrow. We never know that opportunity. If we've still got kind of air in our lungs, and we are not going and striving for the best opportunities in life, then you are just going to be the average person. You're just going to be another person on a headstone.
What a waste of a life.
100%. I've been here for 30 years. I feel like I'm gone already. Do you know what I mean? I've got so much more to do, and there's not enough time in the world.
Absolutely. And the thing is with that, I feel humbled by something. Actually, a workman who's doing some work at home during this week, he said I had a positive aura. I mean, he's a native Spanish speaker, so and his English is improving. And that was his point, and that was very humbling. And I think from what you're saying, that just resonates to that influence others, impact others. And I think you're that kind of person that even if someone's kind of around you for a while, they get the positive energy, they get that vibe, and so that's without actually actively doing anything. You can help people. So I think that's so important in terms of role model is fine, but it's actually who you are unknowingly and the impact you give off on others.
100%.
And we sometimes are not aware of that as people, I think.
Now, your personality and the person you are kind of shines through your external features. I've had it, and you've probably had it before. And people approach me when you seem like a really nice guy, but the way I look doesn't seem that. And they have a conversation with you, just like, I knew that was right, because the energy you're putting out to the universe. I used to be a very negative person because of the negativity that was put into me from a young age.
It's astonishing. Sorry to interrupt you. It's astonishing that you are who you are after what you've been through, which is why I thought we have to speak. We have to share this with people.
100%. And just coming back to the part with obviously doing that through Alistair's course, this was a turning point for me for doing my videos and helping people and kind of voicing my voice. Was not long after doing that course, I started doing kind of TikTok videos and Instagram videos to see how I could kind of help people. And a big thing close to my heart was suicide, because I've tried to commit suicide twice. And I did a video on it, which it wasn't very good, but it was it was just kind of straight, hard-hitting minute video.
But that's you saying it's not good.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, 100%. Self-doubt again. Self-doubt's the biggest killer in the world. And after doing that video, I think it was a day or two, one of my close mates, I won't say names on here, he sent me a message. He's a veteran himself. I've always looked at him through the military. He's done a lot more operational tours than me, and he was just known as an amazing soldier. And he messaged me in an overly friendly way, and that was a warning flag for me, a red flag. So I was just like, mate, give me your number, I'll bring you out. I haven't spoken to you for months. Got onto the phone with him, and he kind of broke down in a way, and we kind of related our stories from childhood and stuff. And he said, look, Smudge, I was going to commit suicide yesterday or the day before. He had enough. He stored his medication. I think he said he rang his mum and said, I can't take it no more. He's got a daughter, and kind of hit home, and he was just like, I can't do this no more. I don't think she knew what he was on about. And I think he went to ring his partner, and he went on Instagram. It just popped up, and the video was me fucking talking about suicide. And he literally just broke down, and obviously sent me that message. And that literally, I broke down in tears listening to say that. Like, he said, look, you saved my life. What you're doing, you cannot fucking stop doing it, because the purpose you've got with the videos you do and how good you come across, you're saving lives. You've just saved my life, and that just hit home with me massively. Like, I've just saved a life by my voice, not my actions. From being a soldier, I save lives through my physical abilities, and now I'm learning how to do it through vocally, which I think is just insane. It's amazing,
incredible, and I'm hats off to you for that. And the thing that makes me think is a big driver. A friend said to me years ago, a friend who actually led me into the whole self-improvement space 20 years ago, that we do more for others than ourselves.
Massively.
And that's been a big driver for me. My mission is to serve 1 million people and a further 1 million children and young people.
That's amazing,
globally. So that's through our work, but then if there's someone who we can teach, inspire, and if they help 50,000 or 100,000 people, then I'll consider that as part of the 1 million. And when I'm going through self-doubt, we are all the same. We all have self-doubt. We were chatting about this before, and you were surprised that I have self-doubt.
100%.
Every single person who's living and breathing, I believe, has self-doubt.
If you don't, there's something probably chemically
balanced. So regardless of who you see, who you admire, who you look up to, if you're kind of under the duvet feeling crap about yourself and thinking everyone else is better, everyone else has got it together, that's just your state of mind. Because guess what? The people who you look up to, respect and admire have those days too. That's what you've got to tell yourself. But the thing I was going to say was, if we're ever unsure or if we're hesitating, there are people out there who we are meant to serve.
Yeah, 100%.
There's people out there who you are meant to serve, who are waiting for you. You're the medicine for them. You've already saved your one life directly that you told us about.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. There are people out there who are waiting for me to serve them. That's just me, taking ego totally out of this. It's just the same. The world is like that, I believe.
Yeah.
There are people out there who are due to be and waiting to be served by other people. So I think if we consider that, that's powerful. That's motivating.
Helping others is the biggest thing in life, I think.
And one of the great personal development speakers tells us, do enough for other people and what you want will happen and be taken care of.
100%, yeah. You need to serve people. If you're not, I think you're stuck in that negative, selfish mini world of yours.
And how do you feel when you're serving self-interest?
I can't really put it as a feeling. It's just, it feels right.
No, when you're serving your own interest, when you're thinking about yourself.
No, I don't really like that. It's the same thing. I'd rather starve myself and feed someone else. It's that mentality. I don't need. You'll always put yourself down. What is it like? I'm all like doing these videos and pushing. I have to listen to my own videos sometimes because I'm just like, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and like you push.
Take your own advice.
100% is the worst thing to do.
I'm the same.
It's so hard. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and actually relate to yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror for 1 minute and say you need to be accountable for the things you're not doing at the minute. Take your finger out your ass and do the things you need to do to help others.
And that's where the growth is.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of things. I'm comfortable. I've grown quite a lot. I know you've grown quite a lot and you've shared quite a lot. But what we forget is the tough things we've done, the things that we've been unsure about that we've done, and the barriers we've broken through that have kind of been the stepping stones to where we are.
Yeah.
And so it'll be uncomfortable stuff that we'll have to break through to get to the best version of ourselves.
You have to go through pain to have a purpose. It is simple as that. No matter what you're going through in life right now, it is for the greater good. If you're going through pain, ride it through, because it will determine the person you are. If you're going through happiness, be content, be present in that moment. A lot of people ain't. If something happy happens in their life, I did a video about it. It was, I've never cried happy tears. I've never known that in my life. You know, to cry happy tears where you're elated. And when I found out I was going to be a dad, I just cried happy tears. I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I've never cried happy tears. It is insane. And I was smiling but crying. I've never had that. And that was just like another turning point in my life. I've got another why in my life right now. Do you know what I mean? I need to keep pushing this so my kid can respect me as a person and their father. So I need to keep doing what I need to do.
So what's the biggest thing that you feel you want to teach your little one?
There's many things, but I think the biggest thing is self-love. I think you need to love yourself before you can love any other person in the world. I think it's a big thing. That's what a lot of people don't do.
People, you can only give of what you have.
100%. And I think a lot of people who help a lot of people are really not happy with themselves. They're really not. For instance, like comedian, what's his name? Robin
Williams, genius.
Amazing man. He is a server. He made billions of people laugh, but was suffering inside because he didn't like the person he was. And I think if you could take it back and actually do that for yourself, I think that's the biggest gift I can give my kid is purpose, not just that self-love. Not caring what people think, giving that attitude of, I don't care, I will achieve it, no matter what is thrown up in my life. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't want them to go through the same pain that I went through. And just touching on that is, if you're going through struggle or trauma right now, it might not be for you, but you're strong enough to get past it, where you can help other people.
What do you mean by that? It might not be for you.
So if you're going, for instance, the childhood trauma that I went through, or the stuff I went through being homeless or on tour, I was strong enough. God gave me the will to get past it. I'm still here breathing today. Some people ain't. But now I'm here now, the trauma I've gone through, I'm going to help other people for the trauma that I've gone through to help them. they might not be strong enough to go through that personal thing, but I can stop them going through that personal thing. I think that's an amazing thing. I heard see that on a podcast, and it just opened my eyes. What you're going through right now might not be for you, but you're strong enough to get through it for someone else, to be there for someone.
Wow, and that I think for me relates to what we said earlier, in that if you're in a rut, if you've got a negative thought playing in your head, just think about someone who's waiting for you to reach them and serve them.
100%.
And you'll break through.
100%. I believe in that massively. Yeah.
So, looking to the future now, what are your goals?
My goals is to be the best dad I can be. that's the main reason, is be the best dad I can be.
What does that look like for you?
For my kid to respect me, really.
As well as love themselves, you said.
100%, yeah. But just to respect me in a way, I don't want my kid to think ill of me in any way. I'll never ever abandon my kid, ever, no matter what I go through in life.
And you wouldn't be the first person who I've spoken to they are so driven to almost or give their child or give other people the opposite of their past experiences because they've been so traumatic.
Yeah. My kid will learn the hard way though.
Yeah. But what you said earlier about your childhood,
yeah,
it's like you want your child to see the opposite of that, but you're saying you want them to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I want my kid to have a childhood. I never had a childhood. I didn't know what it was to have I can't even really remember a Christmas I had as a child, or a birthday, or whenever someone
in a family environment.
Yeah, never. Like when people used to buy me presents, I wouldn't open it. Asking them, I'm not that close to my family because of my own person now. But when people used to buy me presents, I wouldn't open it. Christmas Day, I would not open my presents. People used to buy me stuff like my stepdad or whatever. I'm not opening it.
Why do you think
I'd refuse to do it.
Why do you think that was?
Because I think it's the emotional trauma I went from a childhood. I don't know physically or emotionally how to be happy opening presents. I don't want a fucking gift.
Do you think something that I'm realising is really important is to be a good receiver?
100%.
And feeling you deserve those things?
100%.
Do you think that's something that...
You've hit the nail on the head by saying that. I didn't think I deserved it. Why are you giving me a present for? I'm quite lucky like now when my partner gives me stuff and just don't buy me anything. I don't want anything. I used to hate it, like sitting there opening presents, trying to be happy because it wasn't a happy environment for me.
Yeah.
So I think every time Christmas came around, the same emotions came around. I'm getting better at it now. I'll open presents and be happy.
What message do you think that's sending to the universe?
It's positivity, really.
No, by not wanting to receive presents and not wanting to.
In which way do you mean? What?
Because I guess what I'm getting at is that if we are better receivers,
yeah,
then I believe we receive more.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
So you've obviously got been through pain and trauma,
yeah,
and you've admitted,
yeah,
quite openly, which I'm humbled to hear you admit that you didn't feel you deserved it. So the reasons are really valid.
Yeah.
But you are still, having that belief in sending out that message that you don't deserve presents.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to receive.
Yeah.
So my growth path tells me that I need to continue to be a better receiver.
Yeah.
In order to receive more.
It's 100%. It's the same way I think people giving you a compliment. No one likes compliments. I do not like compliments, but someone
receive them gracefully.
Exactly. Someone
learn to.
Exactly that. If someone says to me, "You're doing amazing," I'll say thank you. But sometimes a lot of people reverse it back. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so are you. So are you. You're amazing. This and that. Trying to push what they're pushing onto you straight back because you don't really want it, but you're trying to say thank you. Just take it. If someone says to you, "You're doing amazing today," oh, thank you, mate. And just take it on board.
Be in that moment with it.
Yeah, exactly. Be present. It's the same thing. If someone says to you, "Oh, that's anything," "Oh, you're good looking," take it on. A lot of people, "Oh, yes, don't know, not me." Like, do you know what I mean?
But I think the root of that is feeling you deserve it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is something to work on, isn't it? We talked about, this whole Me 2.0 is about working on ourselves and growing. And I think that's a really big piece, a really big part of it.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be amazing for yourself as well. And doing it is you will be saving lives. A lot of people. I do get a lot of messages of how many people I've saved, and I don't post them back on there because I'm not like that. But
could you give us a number?
Say again, sorry.
Did you tell us how many?
I've lost count. It's been probably 30 people saying they've gone through this, and I've actually had conversation with people and stuff. And I've obviously set up I've set up a Facebook group called IGY 6, which is I've literally got it tattooed on me. It means I've got your back. It's a military terminology, kind of for mental health with a semicolon. There's like 400 lads on there. It's a closed group. We speak about mental health because I drive it from the front. I talk about opening about my stuff, and it's letting people open up in that group who wouldn't necessarily think about opening up, because I've literally said in it, if anyone is negative in this group, you will be like shown to be negative, then you'll be kicked out of the group. It's only for people who want to help others. Do you know what I mean? Everyone stayed in there.
Okay, when you say negative, you mean non-supportive, and
Yeah.
so do I understand that you've been really active to make it a safe space?
Yeah.
So that people can open up, especially about super sensitive things,
Yeah.
raw things, but then it's people who wouldn't normally open up.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
It's given that environment
Well
where they can, because people have opened up on there and just said to them, "Look, I'm struggling to I would help," and instantly you'll get people bam, 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 message, private message, like contact them, because it can be an instant thing with suicide, depression, anxiety.
Do you mean an impulsive thing?
It varied massively, because mine was impulsive the first time. Like, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to, but it was a scream for help, and it was very kind of impulsive. I got to the point where there was no return. But then the second time I did it, I was very calm, because I did not want to be on this earth. I was very relaxed. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't on alcohol. I was very relaxed. I didn't want to be here. And I think the first initial part of them thoughts and reaching out to people, it can be a comment, it can be a sentence, or it can be a phone call. You can stop someone.
What brought you to that low?
The PTSD kind of, I never thought I had PTSD, because I thought to myself I was a soldier.
Sorry, I was listening, driving over to you, I was listening to an interview by Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
And she was saying exactly that about her postpartum depression, and it was exactly that I haven't got this.
Yeah.
I haven't. It was kind of. I think I'm starting to feel that it's that label. People can sense there's something wrong with them, but that label is just a bit too much to take on, or the acceptance of it.
I didn't want it. I've fought it for years. I knew I had something, probably a little bit, because I was fighting a lot. I was getting drunk a lot. My soldiers and skills kind of went down, and that was a big thing for me. And it got to the point where I couldn't hide it no more. Where I was drinking nearly every day, fighting every day. I just wasn't me. I'd have blackouts with my anxiety. I couldn't go to the shops. I had to sit with my back against the wall. I couldn't be in an open environment. I couldn't be around people. Just certain things were triggers for me, like Mountain Dew, the drink. I couldn't be around it. I'd have flashbacks, because Mountain Dew is one of the big drinkers out in Afghan, because obviously Americans, they always used to remind me of Afghan, and I still can't drink it today.
So that connection with Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it just reminded me, mainly because I remember when Dawson got shot, when I got down, the first thing I seen next to my body armor was Mountain Dew, and it kind of takes me back to that kind of instant, and it's weird how that does it.
Tony Robbins spoke years ago that I heard about a deep sensory memory.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is just a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
That it's one of the most vivid and in a bad way memorable experiences you've had.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so deeply anchored with such deep emotions.
Yeah.
And so the Mountain Dew that was there, it wasn't like it was a machine gun, it was a drink.
Yeah.
But that's been associated with that vivid and extreme memory.
Screenshots.
Yes.
That's kind of what it is.
That
I can tell you, I cannot remember 2 weeks ago something's happened. This happened nearly 11 years ago. I can tell you square footage of that compound. What was there, who was there, what the light was, what the heat was, what was on top of the compound, I can tell you everything.
It just shows what the human mind's capable of.
100%. And if you can put that into your life, I know it's trauma you've gone through, but if you can do something to that extent where you get them endorphins and you can do it and you've got your purpose, it will just click. I think that's the same thing I'm getting at the minute.
Yeah. And wonderful. And for me, so much is happening that I'm aligned. There's a group of friends that actually the first Tony Robbins event that we went to, and it was incredible. The four of us went there, and one of the friends from that group, we reconnected, and we're just so spiritual and we're abundant minded.
Yeah.
And the way we connect now, and even the stuff we've been working on yesterday and today, and it's aligned. And in terms of me and my journey to my me 2.0, so much of the stuff I've got rid of, and I've had to work at myself. I've had to work really hard at myself, and actively it's been like surgery, and literally reinventing myself part by part. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's 100% worth it. You need to, I think, not distract yourself. External and internal are two different things. The more you put into your external happiness and pleasure, the more internal, like, sorrow I think you'll have. You need to start from inner. A lot of people try and make other people happy, put social media posts up. If not many people like it, they take it down, they do this, they that, they buy a car because their mate's got a car. That is bullshit. External happiness and working on yourself is amazing. Like, I'm more happier than most of my mates, but I've been through more shit than most of them because I've worked myself internally the last couple of years. I'm just happier. And I think you need to start it, you kind of internally before you start externally.
So how would you share with people what you've done to work on yourself, and what have you worked on, and how have you
My main thing I've worked on is my mindset. And mindset is key. And it's all the fundamentals in life. And there's a mnemonic in the military that I am trying to put into kind of this is what obviously I want to do in the future, is do courses to do with mindset. And the biggest thing is something called C drills, and it stands for obviously it's a mnemonic, and it's courage, discipline, respect, integrity, loyalty, and selfless commitment. They are the 6 key factors you need in life. You take one of them away, it's nothing. One of the biggest things there is self-discipline.
Say those words again.
So it's a mnemonic, and it stands for C drills. So it's courage, discipline, respect, integrity, loyalty, and selfless commitment. They are the 6 key factors you need as a human being. I personally believe that, because they will make you a soldier in life. Even if you're not actually a soldier.
And you don't need to be violent to be a soldier in life.
No. I'm a positive soldier. I'm a mindset soldier. I'm a mental health soldier. I've incorporated what I've gone through.
I love that, a mindset soldier.
That's 100%. That's what I am. That's what I put on my posts. I'm a mindset soldier. I will not let anything determine my mindset.
So if people want to look for you, do they look for the mindset soldier?
Yeah, well, look at me. Obviously, my name's David Smith. Instagram, TikTok. Just look out for me. You'll find me somewhere because I'm on everyone's FU page. I'm trying to push that out as much as possible. I'm the guy with tattoos and dreadlocks. You would notice me from a mile away.
But we're not done yet. Carry on.
Yeah.
You were saying that about C drills. Tell us more about that.
It's one of the core fundamentals you learn in the military. So when you obviously start in the military through your training, obviously you go through training to break you, to make you, and that's what the military do. And they incorporate these key values into your life because they make you a soldier. No matter what you go through, if you stick to these core values, you're always going to be a good soldier. When I'm on tour, these core values stuck with me.
Discipline, again, it's just really
discipline. No matter what is in front of you. Courage. If I didn't have the courage to get on top of that compound, he would be dead. It's simple as that. If I don't have the discipline in my mindset to get on that compound, that guy would be dead. Same, my mate got blew up and he nearly lost his leg. If I didn't strap his leg up, he would not have no lower leg. And other people, it's just the core values. I think people just don't get in life. They just don't. They don't live by them. I live by them core values, and I've cut off a lot of friends because they don't have the same values, because I can't be around them. Because you're just taking my self-belief, not just that, you're taking my values away from me.
Interesting. I think that I'm quite clinical now, and I make no apology for it.
Yeah.
I can't live the life I want. I can't achieve what I want. I can't serve the people I want.
Yeah.
By being the person I was.
100%.
And every part of that is open for scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
and people that are in my life
Yeah.
need to deserve to be in my life.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I like that. But it's true. You don't need to put up with bullshit and bullshit friends. Life's too short. Stop having people that are not serving you.
And I think when people see you're not going to stand for rubbish,
Mhm.
guess what? They won't come anywhere near you.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the last year, I've been through some surgery, I'll call it.
Yeah.
With my social media contacts. I don't spend much time on social media.
Yeah.
And guess what? I don't get much of it.
Yeah.
I put the message out strongly and clearly. And the more you do that, the more certain you get in yourself.
Yeah.
And because you can't soar when you're being anchored.
100%. Yeah.
So that to me is what you've done with almost kind of interviewing your friends kind of thing. This sounds horrible and clinical, but not everyone who's in your life or has been deserves to be.
Yeah. 100%. I believe in that. There's a difference between pigeons and eagles. They both fly at different heights. You need to go that above and be that eagle to leave the lower people in your life. They're not flying as high as you and where you want to be. Stay above them. It's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? We have different friends. Friends coming in and out of our life.
Let pigeons be with pigeons.
100%. 100%. And it's that mentality you need to have. I'm going to touch back at then the core values. If your friends don't have them and they don't have one of them, they don't really become your friend. Like I lost contact with my really good friends of nearly 20 years because his morals just weren't the same. And I had to kind of like, right, if you ain't going to change or whatever, then I don't want to be friends with you no more.
Yeah, well, kind of say goodbye with love,
Exactly, yeah. It's not a negative thing.
It's just not a match.
Exactly, yeah. You get a lot of people, I think.
But then what happens with when you do that, there's space for the people that you really should have in your life.
100%. There's always, if you take one away, there's always one going to come back. But as you're gradually...
But you're choosing the one that comes in.
Exactly. A lot of people, like touching back on that again, go through their life. For instance, when you're a child, it's completely different getting friendships. You get on, you can play the same video together, you're best friends. As you're gradually getting older, your morals change, your path change in life, and you're just like,
who you are emerges.
We don't really click. Can we just, people are so hold on to, oh yeah, but he's been my friend for 15 years. No, get him out your life. Imagine it's going to be for the next 15 years of your life, giving you negativity, giving you bullshit. Oh, let's go and have a drink. No, I'm all right, I'm working on myself. You don't want that. Take him out and you're going to have a better life. Someone else will come into your life.
Who deserves to be and who's going to help you be the person you want to be and who you deserve to be.
Exactly. You've probably had this. More strangers in my life that I've passed on the street have helped me more than people I've had in 30 years. It's the same thing with friendship. It doesn't equate. Someone who's been in your life for a long time does not equate to them to being a good friend. It's all about quality over quantity. I don't care if I've got two friends. They're the two best fucking friends I'll ever have. I don't want 20.
You can have more generosity, love, kindness, as you say, from someone you've known 24 hours or 24 seconds versus someone you've known 24 years.
Because they don't feel like they owe you something or something like that.
Or you owe them something.
Yeah, always. Oh, mate, do that for us. And they don't expect anything back, but they'll always let you down. Friends always let you down for some reason. I don't know why, but friends let you down. I never let anyone down. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'll be there 5 minutes before, half an hour before, because that's me. But friends always feel like they owe you something. I don't owe you nothing. I don't owe my family anything. I don't owe no one in my life anything. But I owe myself something, and that's to be the best person I can be. And if you can take that away, that's the best thing you can.
I love that. And I think that it's part of becoming a different person, a better person. And have you had anyone tell you you've changed, as in an accusatory way?
I've had someone say this actually, but not to me. I found out from one of my really good close mates. He's going to be obviously the godfather to my child. He'd been in the military to go back, and we just click like. And one of our really good mates, he said to him, "What's David doing on TikTok, doing all his motivational shit? What's his positive?" That's not him. That's not him being positive. Like, he doesn't really speak to me that much now, because being positive, yeah, is so much better and stronger to negative. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is always a negative Nelly. Like, he'll always be that negative person. But now I'm that positive. he doesn't really contact me because my positivity is pushing him away.
What positive and negative repel?
Exactly. I love him to bits, but so what? I couldn't care, mate. Like, if you don't want to be around me, don't. I'm not going to listen to your negative shit. My positivity now will always outweigh anyone with negative shit. Like before, if I got into an argument with someone, I was quite, well, come on then, not argument. I'm just like, whatever, mate. It's not worth it.
Yeah, again, don't want to use a military pun, but you know that battle, you don't need to fight it.
No more. And I was like that before. Do you know what I mean? Coming off tour and that, I was very violent. I was very. I had a lot of convictions with the police. I nearly went to jail for GBH and ABH because there was a lot of things going in my head where I shouldn't be put in environments where I was in environments drinking alcohol. I was being reflected back into Afghan. I wasn't mentally stable, and I've done things that I regret, but they were out of my control because I was a different person. And now I can walk away from a fight. The only fight I've got with myself and to be a better person. I don't care about anyone else. As simple as that. If I see someone fighting in the street now, I try and split it up and try and with a positive instead of going over there running. It's just not me.
That's what you just said. The only fight you've got is with yourself. I think that for me, I think now in terms of desert island people, desert island content and videos. For me, that's a desert island tip that if you stop comparing with others, compare with your own standards, assuming you're on a growth journey and on a service journey, then you're constantly. I mean, I heard I was on a summit this week. Heard from a super successful chief exec, and now he's an entrepreneur, and that's the way he set everything out in terms of, right, he's got this mission, and he had no idea how he's going to achieve it, but it was just that constant striving for excellence, just sticking to that.
That's one of the key factors. Is probably got his discipline. 100%. Discipline's the biggest thing. You know, it's the key value in anything. If he didn't have that discipline to keep going for that goal, not knowing where he's going to go, he wouldn't achieve it, because he's got that discipline, and whatever's thrown at him, he will achieve it. Absolutely.
And one of the other things that comes through in a lot of my podcasts and videos is that deferred gratification. It's that if the shiny things are attracting you, certainly were for the old me, it was that urge to do this, do that, and be a busy fool. That was a hard thing to look in the mirror and realize I'm being a busy fool. Now I'm calm. I would have a limited a set of things to do in that day. I've got to achieve those, and I now break those down into task and then subtask. Tick that off. I'd hear the ping, and I'm training myself more and more to do this. I'd hear the ping done, and so it's just enacting that discipline and putting it into your day to day, isn't it?
How does that make you feel doing it?
Fantastic, and it's momentum. Momentum. It's like pushing the Titanic. You know, you start pushing it, you're going nowhere. No one's going to move the Titanic, but if there's something equivalent, if there's something equivalent, you know, like a big truck or something, if you push it more and more, it will move slowly. And I recorded some content about this just this week, which people will see eventually, or hear eventually. Whereas going forward, once it's moved, if you put the same force in, it'll move twice as much.
100%,
Or if you want to move it as much, you'll need less force.
Momentum.
That's what momentum is, and that's what momentum does.
Keep going,
And that's the thing. It's that initial thing is tough. That initial bit is tough. Maybe it's like going to the gym. You know, it's a dark morning. You do this. You know, I have my own activity, my morning routine, which I own. You own yours in your way. So what is it like for you when you get up on a dark winter's morning when it's pitch black outside and everyone's asleep? What's going on for you?
I used to feel, I'm going to tell you how I used to feel. I used to dread it. I used to get up groggy. I've got to go to the gym, got to do this and that. Now I'm up. I'm so happy to be awake before anyone else. I'm happy to be awake before sunrise. I don't know. The air feels different in the morning.
I think the world feels different.
100%. When you get up and there's not many people outside still breathing the same oxygen around you, and you can take that breath in, like you're the first person in the world to take that breath.
Nature's given it to us.
Exactly.
It's like first crack at the snow, isn't it?
100%. It only takes me about a minute I'm putting out the house within 10 minutes to the gym, and once I'm there, it's the best feeling.
So for you, the reward kicks in early.
100%.
Yeah? We're all kind of, you know, blocks and reward beings. And so, and I'm the same. Now, I've kind of programmed myself into my morning routine.
Yeah.
So much of it is subconscious. Things I do, the things I listen to. I've got 3 audios I listen to first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's almost got subliminal now. But guess what? I know now from 20, 30 year personal development journey that that's affecting me. Yeah. Yeah. It's the stuff I put into myself and do put into myself. It's not going to pay today. It doesn't pay today. Yeah. It pays you in the future for who you become.
So what you're doing today consciously, in the event future, will do subconsciously. It's the same thing. If you do it as many times as you can, it will become a secondary thing. It's the same thing you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is the thing about conscious incompetence, like you're not good at it and you know you're not, to the opposite, which is something you're really good at and you do automatically. Yeah. Kind of one extreme to the other. But that's what you're saying. And I think it's momentum, because if you start to do it with one thing, you're like, oh, okay. But for me, you need to realize that loop. There can be that journey, but unless you've realized you've made that journey and you've planted those seeds, you've watered, you've nurtured it, and it's flourished and it's borne fruit. I think for me, you've got to realize the reward and almost recognize and register that reward, that money in the bank, so to speak, to reward you to do it again.
Exactly. It's that famous video of that. I think it was a colonel of the US military saying the best thing you can do it in the morning. Well, the first thing you need to achieve in the morning is make your bed. Once you've made your bed, you've achieved something, and keep that going. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's not
goal tick, goal tick, goal tick.
Exactly. They don't have to be a big thing like I'm going to out and make £1 million. If you start like that, you ain't going to finish like that. It's little things that give momentum. It's the little things in life that obviously give you better life. 100%.
Absolutely. And I found that with investing, it's time's done its magic, and it's the little bits of gardening, so to speak, and the tweaks, and then time does its magic. Yeah. And experience and expertise and wisdom grows over time, and you build all of that, and that's just how anything is in life. You know, you just learn, grow, and improve. But it's, as you say, it's the little things, and just don't look for rewards now. Yeah, it's not a sugary donut. That's just not. Yeah? You get a kick for a second. You also get cavities as a result. Yeah. But eating broccoli, for example, or you know, drinking green tea, is going to reward you long term. And guess what? Once you form that habit, it's money in the bank every day. Yeah. And you're raising your health by doing that.
100%. Like I said, you're replacing your purpose with pleasure. And that's the wrong thing to do in life. Keep that purpose strong.
Short-term gratification versus your purpose and mission.
You're always going to set yourself up for hurdles if you're going to put them in place. Personally, just keep that in your mindset.
Fantastic. So just to round up, Dave, you've said IG. Where can people? What's your group?
Oh, that's a closed group. So it's only for obviously veterans and serving soldiers.
Absolutely.
So it's David Smith.
And you're only going to let people in who.
They have to go through
you. Have to go through you. Yeah, absolutely. But I want people to know that, because even if one person approaches your group for that, then it's been worth it. Yeah, so that's IG.
It's David Smith, IGY6, and that's on Facebook as a closed group.
Right.
You'll see it on there.
Okay. But what about your other stuff?
So my TikTok is David89Smith, and my Instagram is Smithy with 2 I's 89. Just because David Smith's been took 1 million times.
Okay, so as you see on the screen, so just follow that. And so, what are you going to be working on in the future? What are the things you're working on now? What are you working on in the future?
So I'm working on myself to give better to other people. So what I'm working on now is trying to put I've got a plan together to make an event and courses to do with military mindset that can be incorporated to civilians or other people. And it's all about sea drills and having an amazing mindset in life, and to do with mental health, obviously, because what I've been through with all suicide and depression and stuff like that. And it's just being the best person you can be in life.
The image and the tag that I remember is Mindset Soldier.
Yeah, Mindset Soldier, yeah.
So that's something that seems to capture it, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's 2 things pushed into one. Do you know what I mean? mindset is all, you can think what you want of it, but when you put soldier next to it, you kind of know what you're fighting for and against. Yeah.
Okay. Dave, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Honestly, it's great seeing you again, man.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We've talked about some amazing stuff. It's been a fantastic conversation. But I guess the point of that beyond this is to share it with people,
100%.
and so that people take benefit from it. And if this has reached someone who's really low, I hope and pray deeply that this resonates with you, and you find that person to call, or that person to reach out to, or that organisation to reach out to, in the way that Dave has for people already. The fact that you've already saved lives. You told us about your friend earlier, and you've got about 30 messages. I mean, that's more than a lot of people will achieve. You know, there's people sitting there with millions or billions in their bank, and they may not have done anything near as significant as that. So for me, success is a broadly defined thing. So that area of success and that definition of success, real success and serving in life, you know, you're already super successful.
Appreciate
and you know, I just know you're going to serve more. I know you're going to achieve more. You've already got momentum. It can only go one way. There's no guarantees in life, but and we know that if you hit obstacles and if you hit barriers, who you are and how you are and what you've achieved so far, I'm sure you'll go on to, you know, break through and overcome them. And I really look forward to talking to you again and doing this again.
100%,
and sharing more with people.
100%.
Dave.
Pleasure, man. Been awesome, man.
Cheers.
Good conversation, hasn't it?
It's an hour.
Bang on, Jesus, got me sweating, mate.
I didn't. Yeah, I started and I thought, is it recording okay? Well, you know, there's people
Really
sitting there
cool,
with
isn't it?
millions of.
Hopefully, nice one.
Yeah, just click. Because we didn't do a sound test. But